I got selected for country's communication leader, but on the day of my joining, I resigned.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yes. All the creativity is for myself, and my degrees are for my parents, guys. Do your degrees. So
Yeah,
finish your
important.
degrees. Yes. So I wanted people in Himalayans, like in mountains, to know what actual coffee tastes like. Nescafe is not your coffee. Like last year I retired when I was 28. I started studying about Rorik and his family and everything about him. So then I met so many people. I met so many girls traveling alone, not only India, many were from Spain and all, because dude, seriously, because most of the people say, oh, you're in Himachal, all stuff and all. No, I don't do anything. So yeah, it's all legal stuff.
Hey there, I'm sitting here in the beautiful village of Nagar in Himachal Pradesh, and I have with me Vishaka.
Hi.
She's from Karnataka and she has started her own cafe in Nagar, and I'm pretty excited to talk to you and get to know more about you.
Thank you.
How nervous are you feeling right now?
Oh God, now 100%, like 100% nervous.
So Vishaka's cafe's name is called Pahadi Bhalu.
Yes.
It's so cute.
Okay, that's my nickname, that's why.
Really? It's your nickname as well?
Yeah, so it's Bhalu. Not Pahadi, but yeah, Bhalu.
Bhalu
is my nickname. So cafe being in mountain, so it's Pahadi Bhalu.
Can you tell me more about your background, like your childhood, where you are from exactly, like how are your parents, how was your schooling, upbringing, something like that?
Okay, so like I'm basically by blood, I'm a South Indian, but born and brought up in North India because I'm an army brat. So my dad worked in Indian army and we used to travel all over North India and North, and also I did my schooling from Kendriya Vidyalaya, so the only school where we are entertained. So
KV.
yeah, so KVN.
Right.
So I did that. Then my dad retired. We went to South. Then that and pretty much. And I also played nationals for boxing and badminton.
Wow, boxer.
Yeah, and also with that, I completed my MCom in income tax and international business. So this was for my parents completely. Like you understand, South Indians.
Yes.
So our degrees matters.
Yes.
So I did that for my parents. Then I did 2 foreign languages, French and German.
Okay, overachiever.
No, it's just keeping up with the standards, South standards. So and also I like Korean, like big time K-pop. You know that you had the Korean corn dog at my cafe, so that and I finished my graphic designing, fine arts. These things for myself. All the creativity is for myself, and my degrees are for my parents, guys. Do your degrees. So finish your degrees. Yes. So that and I joined Decathlon Sports India as a sport leader for trekking, hiking. Then I covered all the sports inside that but Decathlon literally bought the the fighter in me because of the work nature and everything. Worked there, did merchandising, everything regarding that. But also I'm only interested in communications. So I did that, creatives, designing. Then I got promoted to Bangalore Decathlon. The first decathlon of country, Sarjapura. So I finished my I got promoted as designing or this thing, then again promoted as countries. I got selected for country's communication leader, but on the day of my joining, I resigned.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yes. That is how crazy head I am. So I
Okay.
resigned on the day of my joining, which was my dream project.
What?
It was
It
my-
was your dream project. And you
Yeah,
still, okay.
it was in my trajectory. I wanted to be country's communication referent, like lead. Then moved to South Korea as part of designing team. But yeah, I'm a crackhead, so obviously I just
That's why we are in
resigned.
Nagar.
Yes, that's why I'm in Nagar. Opened my cafe, doing my art thing, and living my life. Slow life, which is not so slow, but yeah, but still it's a slow life, according to me.
Okay. So how did you come up with the cafe concept and like why Nagar?
Okay, so cafe concept, because I always like coffees, like being a South Indian. Again, you understand, being a South Indian and from Bangalore, so coffee is like in my blood. I don't have blood, I have only coffee, caffeine in my body. So I wanted people in Himalayans, like in mountains, to know what actual coffee tastes like. Nescafe is not your coffee. Plus, and people add sugar so much that it is not coffee anymore. It is we call panka in our language. It is sugar water. It's
Sugar
not
syrup.
that. So I wanted,
Okay.
sugar syrup. So I wanted people to try out the different and the authentic coffees, which is not available most of time in things. And also all my beans are from Africa. My uncle sends me from Ethiopia, Sub-Sahara.
Okay.
So those beans are from there. I roast them here, pan roast them. I grind them, and I serve it on the third day. And also, my brother is in agri field, so he helped me with most of the contacts for this coffee thing. So I got to know different kinds of coffee and spoke to different people regarding this. So and also cafe was always my retirement plan. I'm 20. Like last year I retired when I was 28. Now I'm 29, guys.
Yeah.
Still, I'm doing what I want to do.
So
He's
yeah.
sleeping.
Now you have spoken about retirement.
Yeah.
So how did you think of retirement such like at such an early age, and how did you plan for it?
Okay. So mainly for my nature, I don't think I can work under anyone, because being a creative person, I don't know. I can't say yes to everything, including my parents. I can't say yes on first go. I have to ask 100 questions, and which is not okay in corporate job at all. Like if
Yes.
they say you have to do, hard truth, but reality. And I always wanted to do something in art. I always want to earn through my art. Like I want to sell my paintings, do my art, and live my life. Cafe is my passion, so I want to serve people coffee with love and passion. Like you have seen my rates now, so I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be 50% less. Why? Because I want to earn through my art. Like I want to sell my art,
Okay.
earn money, and coffee I want to, even if it is free, I won't mind. But I want people to literally taste the coffee. Like, see, everyone can't come to Bangalore and taste the authentic coffees. But I want them to, wherever they are going, they should know what actually coffee means. Like not mixing your barista machine in barista machine and doing what the stuff, but your artisan coffees, which are very rare everywhere. So that thing. And yeah, your question, why Nagar? Because of Rorik Art Gallery.
Okay.
I want to do a art exhibition here, solo art exhibition, which is going to happen soon in the month of June. So that was my main thing. I always wanted to do a solo art exhibition. So yeah, I'm right now preparing and doing my art thing, and I hopefully sell my art from there and do a cafe on wheel, maybe
Okay.
travel around the country
With
and
vans.
sell coffee. Yes, vans. You can hop with me.
Can I?
Yes, you
I
can.
would just- I would be
You
honored.
can. Duggu also can. Yeah.
And how did you learn about Rorich?
Rorik through like I always read about him, about his painting, but the main thing what pulled me here and kept me here grounded is my grandfather. Like actually he's our neighbor in my hometown, but not less than a grandfather. The way he explained me about Rorik, the way he explained like how he is, what he does, his color, and it made me more learn about Rorik and his life and his philosophy, his color mixing. I used to see him as an artist, and I'm like, okay, he came all the way from Russia to Himalayas, and he liked the place, so he stayed here. He did his painting, his blue, red color and everything. But when my granddad told me, his name is G.C. Tallur, when he told me that how exactly he came from there, his words inspired me to stay here and learn about Rorik. And when I went to his grave, which is here only, you have different atmosphere there. The wind, the breeze is different. He has a tree there above his, like next to his grave, the only tree which blooms different flower, different fragrance. It's not anywhere in Nagar, by the way. If you have never seen that thing, you should go there. It's different. Yeah, people sit there, do meditation, but when I go there, I kind of connect to him. I don't say that I connect to all his things, but no, I connect to the artist in him, like why he came all the way from Russia to Nagar, to Kulu, settled here, did whatever he wanted to do, inspired through his art. So like that, how I learned about him. The mainly is because of my granddad, because he explained, he told me about him so much that when I say continuously about someone to you, you will find that interest. You will be like, oh, what exactly that person is. Yeah. So I was like that. After he told me like so many things about him, I started studying about Rorik and his family and everything about him. So yeah, that's the thing. Yes.
Yeah, so your childhood fascination led you here, basically.
Yes. True.
That's great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, and so I want to talk about like solo traveling and traveling as a woman. And when did you start it, and how did you find the courage to do it?
So solo traveling as a woman, see, it was never a concern for me. Okay, so I thought solo travel everyone does, let it be women, men, dogs, or anyone, everyone can do solo traveling. But when I did my first solo to like this far to McLeodganj, my first solo was to Himachal, McLeodganj, Triun Trek. So that was after I came from Decathlon's. When we take our customers for a hike, I took them to Korchadri. I came back, and in 2 days I came to Himachal, and it was a surprise for my parents. It was not surprise, it was shocking for them, because I told them few months back that I'll be doing this thing. Yeah. So my first solo was McLeodganj. I stayed there for 13 days. My phone was switched off because I didn't wanted anyone to contact me. And the main reason for the solo was my parents forcing me to get married.
So when did you start? Like how old were you?
Dude, 2015 I moved to Pune solo. I stayed there. From there I went to this McLeodganj. So it was 2015. I think you should calculate. I'm 29
but you were
now.
very young.
Yeah. Like I finished my college.
Then why did your parents start?
South Indian pressure. Oh my God! All my pressurizing stuff. But but now it's not like that. Now they are very good. So they don't force me about anything now. But yeah, this is how my solos started, and mainly because when you interact, I was in Decathlon that time. When you interact with people, you'll get to know that how interesting it is to go somewhere alone and just do some legal stuff. Okay. Legal. Himachal is not only illegal, but it's legal stuff as well. Yeah. So So I traveled to McLeodganj, 13 days. I was alone, and that too in off season. It was August. There was landslide, raining, everything. My parents were sick worried of me. Like, where am I? What am I doing? But I told them that I'm fine. Like, you know, that one call is necessary, which I usually do. So yeah, there I went. I traveled. Then I met so many people. I met so many girls traveling alone. Not only India. Many were from Spain and all, because solo traveler you will stay in a hostel or something. Not promoting anyone, like hostels or backpacking hostels and everything. So I met a lot of girls there who were solo traveling from Spain and all, just to do the India cleanup drive. Okay, just for the cleanup drive, not because they want to travel or something. They want to clean India like that.
Wow. Indians also don't want that.
Yes. So yeah, from there I met a lot of girls, understood their story. It's all same. Like, you travel anywhere solo, you meet a guy. Like, I don't know about everyone, but whenever I met someone, like a guy, if I ask why solo, like, it's for fun. You know, I want to go there, I'm earning, I'm there. When you ask a girl, why are you doing solo traveling? I always heard one word which was so common, like, I just want to have peace because I don't want to talk about marriage. Oh, that thing. Why? I mean, each and every girl said the same thing. I want to find myself. I want to, you know, maybe if I go back, if I stay, they'll get me married. Before that, I want to understand. I think you feel the same.
No, it wasn't about marriage.
Okay, for me it was. So
it wasn't about marriage.
Nice, you're lucky and I'm happy for that. So yeah, it was like that, and from that time I became kind of rebellious, like traveling and all. But yeah, it's all cool. It's all fine now.
That leads me to the next question, is that what are your parents' thought about this? Like,
about the solo traveling?
Supportive, like everything, like from your traveling to your unconventional decision of retiring, and that too at a point where you were in a really good role. And the next would be about your art, and also you living alone here.
Okay, starting when I told them, it was a bit shocking for them when I wanted to travel alone. So traveling alone was okay for them, but they thought I'll not go this far, like I'll stay somewhere in Karnataka. But it was not the case. I traveled alone and everywhere. And but now they are super proud of me. Like, they say ki, oh, my daughter stays in Himachal. It's like as if I stay in USA. But still, they are very, very, very
That's
proud
nice.
about that. Touchwood. It's like, thanks universe for doing all this change. Yeah, and about the art, dude, I think they feel the proudest. I'm not the person, I'm not a daughter who scored, like, oh my god, out or something. I was very average student, like 80-85% is average, you also know that. So it was like that. So I'm not ki chalo studies ho gaya, you wanted a masters, I gave them 2 masters. But about my art, they're super proud. Like, they know that I'll do something, and they have that confidence on me. And I think that's why I'm so easily staying anywhere I am staying. Like, they know, they keep asking me like if everything is fine everywhere, but I'm super happy, I'm super fine, and I'm so blessed that they always are there to support me wherever I go and stay. You know that starting 2-3 days we'll fight for the same thing, like, why are you going there, why are you doing this, this. But once you're out of their sight, you have that full support, you have that full praying surrounding you. And like end of the day, they are your parents, obviously they'll support. My big support was my brother. Oh god, even if my parents don't understand, I'll tell him. And if he say, then it's pattar ki lakir, then they'll understand. If my brother, like, sibling supports is what I need. And I have, like, my sibling, my cousins. I touch it, dude. I have the best cousins, I should say. best cousins because they are like, if something happens at home and I don't know about it and my name is involved, the first thing is in group message, bro, you're coming back, you travel more, don't come now, this is the topic. So this is what I have very supportive family and supportive relatives, cousins mainly. So yeah, right now it's like they all are super proud of me, whatever I'm doing. They know whatever I do, it's all legal. Not ill, it's all legal. So dude, seriously, because most of the people say, oh, you're in Himachal, all stuff and all. No, I don't do anything. So yeah, it's all legal stuff. Yeah.
God.
Yeah, sorry for using that word again and again, but can't do anything. Yeah.
But that's amazing that you have a supportive system in place.
Yes.
And you are safe all times.
Yeah.
And okay, tell me more about your art. Like, where do you draw your inspiration from, and what excites you the most?
In art, I think my overthinking excites me more. My painting is all about what am I doing? Just do it like that. But now for the exhibition, I have a theme which I actually wanted to just show the thing, but I think I'll tell you it's Devi. So I believe in Mahadev and Shakti, Shiv and Shakti. So my theme is Shakti. And why? Because in last 2 years, I think it brought a tremendous change in my living.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
You go on.
You just want to sit here.
You go on.
Yeah, so it brought a tremendous change in my lifestyle. I was not like this. I was like, all, traveling, going, doing that, this and everything. But they brought me into a particular, a lifestyle. So that lifestyle I want to put on the paper. So yeah, that is the thing. And also my art style is mixed media art.
Okay.
Mostly I do mixed media art. I like mixed media art. Like contemporary is also okay, but mainly it's mixed media. I want to mix and match things. I do this doodling, journalings and all. So most of my work postcards are in Nagar's Few Cafe. So maybe I'll do a big exhibition and keep a big store or art gallery somewhere soon.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So yeah, that's the thing.
Okay. I don't know about, you might know or not. Do you know about the FIRE movement?
FIRE movement,
So
no.
it stands for financial independence, retire early.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So
I didn't know
a lot
about
of
this.
people are a part of this movement and trying to retire early. And they have this there's this concept called FIRE amount. Your FIRE amount. What would be your FIRE amount? When you get that, you can retire. So did you have that in your head, or you just
No, I didn't have any of these in my head. I just retired. I don't have, I seriously had no clue about this FIRE movement. I had no clue. I was about to think, oh, is it something like your white movement, red green revolution or something? But no, I had nothing like that. Maybe it's a Gen Z term. I don't know. I don't know anything. But if you ask me now that, dude, I don't know. I can't say that I can, I'll earn 1 crore and I'll retire, because to earn 1 crore also you have to go through so much. I don't have that patience. I don't have that patience. I can't say yes to everything. I always have my question, which people, if they can't answer, then I'm not satisfied with the thing. For example, as I said you, I resigned on the day when it was my big day.
Yeah.
So I don't think, and I don't know about this FIRE movement. So I just did whatever my heart said. And after doing that, I think I'm happy. I'm wherever I am, I'm very happy now. It's not like, oh shit, dude, what is happening? I don't know what to do. That moments when you are feeling low, it's there. But I don't overcome. I overcome that with anything, like meditation. Or I talk to my my guru, Elena Mohanty. She's a doctor and she's a writer. She's a tarot reader. I talk to her, or else I go to temple. I talk to my mom or my brother. So this is how I overcome whatever it is. But it's going good till now.
Okay.
It will go good after this also.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you talked about your mentor.
Yeah.
How did you meet your mentor, and how important it is to have a mentor in life, and how it has helped you, and especially like being a woman, it's very different, and you have a woman mentor, so how it helped you out in life?
Okay, so about my mentor, I met her, I think it's almost 3 years, about to get 3 years. So I met her through a app. Okay, so
Okay.
I am very much into this cards, tarot reading. Like I don't do it, but I think I
It's
want to
interesting.
know. It's interesting, as well as you should have that faith whatever you are doing. So when I was in Bangalore, I had some ups and downs, and I was so low in my life that my everything was blocked. So when you are blocked spiritually, you will get to know through practices. But when I spoke to her, she guided me. She was very blunt. Like it was not like, oh, it's okay, it will happen. No, she was on face. If no, then it's a no. So I started talking to her. Like 1 year passed, and she helped me through this sadhana, spiritual meditation, and everything. So when I went to Rourkela, I met her there for the first time, and after meeting her, it was not like, oh my god, I met you after so long. No, it literally felt as if we were connected all these days. We were connected through a string, that red thread thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's us. Like I don't know, but having a mentor or a guru or someone who can trust is so important. And over that, being a lady, okay, nowadays you also know there's a huge competition, and when it comes to women jealousy, men's, you guys are not even the list, okay. Women jealousy is on another level. But this female taught me that why jealousy when you have your uniqueness, when you know that you can do this, and if someone is copying you, it's okay. They can't do what exactly you're doing. Let them do. They have their karma. She gave me so instant lessons, like whatever it is, take any topic, she gave me instant lessons, and it was very important for me to grow from there. Now she knows from where I came and now where I am. Like she's super proud, and I feel that it was a blessing for me at that moment to meet her, talk to her, connect to her, and follow her practices. And yeah, just being connected to her, I like it. Like from last 3 days we didn't speak to each other. Like she's busy with some work, I'm busy with some work, but I know once I call her, she'll get to know whatever happened, however I am. She can read my energy. So I'm happy that there is someone who can read my energies, like without telling, they know what is happening. So that is her. So I take her as my guru, and I think including my mom, she also believes in her.
Okay.
Like we have that belief. So yeah, that's like that.
That's pretty amazing that you have like a figure, like a mentor figure in your life, which is like a bit difficult to find, because, and especially like women, they are so busy in their lives.
Yes.
And someone is taking out time from their busy schedule and like giving you time and nurturing these relationships. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Any tips on like for people who want to like go for a very unconventional path in their lives, and for some reason they are scared to take the first step?
Dude, I'll just say one book term, okay? I can't frame it exactly, but if you don't take that one step, you don't know how the journey will be. Like if you're sitting here and we don't know what to do next, See, it is okay if you don't know, but you should have something in mind. We both know that the next thing is we have to go home, right? If we don't know, we are just sitting here, then we'll just sit here for the whole day doing nothing. So it's like, take that one step. It is very important. Take that one step. Trust yourself. Trust the process. It is slow. You will have that ups and downs. I think it's very much normal, right? Even a heartbeat, if it goes straight, it's like dead. It's in all the movies and all the books. If it goes straight, it's dead. If there's up and down, then there's life. So you will have your ups, you will have your downs. You just need to, go with the flow.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Alright, so as you know, my channel's name is Geek Chic. And for me, like, geek means you are like passionate about something, like you are so deep into it, like you are geeky for K-pop. It's not just tech related. So my last and final question would be, how geeky are you for life?
Okay. Cool. How geeky?
Okay, on a scale from 1 to 10, how geeky are you?
Dude, it's 9 always. 1, let it be for the God, but 9 for sure. 9. Yeah. Too much
Amazing.
Geeky. Too much geeky.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, on that note, thank you so much
thank you
for doing this with me. And I know I'm not an expert or anything, but still you took out time. You brought coffee for me. Like, thank you so much.
No worries.
And yeah, it was amazing.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
It was so nice. Do good. Thank her. Thank you, Madi.
Say. Look
Camera.
at the camera. Okay.
Yeah.
He's not in the mood now.
Yeah.
Okay then. So, cut, I think. Woo!